Hello everyone, my name is Tyler, and welcome to AI Football Prediction Lab, Europe's most trusted football prediction channel. It's time for the second leg matches of the Champions League's second qualifying round. Just like in our last video, we've once again chosen to focus on only 8 out of the 15 games being played. That's because covering all 15 isn't realistic, as it's difficult to gather reliable information on some of the teams involved. And we don't believe in making predictions without proper analysis. That careful approach paid off in the first leg. We delivered 7 correct predictions out of 8, and our top prediction also won. As always, our football expert Luca has done his homework and analysed these 8 matches in depth to bring you the most accurate predictions possible. And remember, in our last 3 videos, we've had a prediction accuracy of over 95%, with 3 top predictions in a row coming through successfully. To keep delivering this level of quality, we need your support more than ever. If our analysis and predictions have helped you, please consider supporting us via the thanks button below. The amount doesn't matter at all. Just seeing your support is more than enough to keep us motivated. Now let's turn it over to Luca and hear what he has to say.
Hello everyone, Luca here. I hope you're all doing well. Without further ado, let's dive straight into the analysis and predictions for the 8 second leg matches we've selected from the Champions League second qualifying round. We've got 2 matches on Tuesday, followed by 6 more on Wednesday. So let's get started. And the first match is Drita FC versus Copenhagen. In the first leg, Copenhagen defeated Kosovo's Drita 2-0 at home, with both goals coming from penalties. That result gave the Danish side a clear advantage ahead of the return leg. To be fair, Drita were not completely outclassed. At times, they managed to respond well and even created a few moments where they threatened Copenhagen's goal. It's important to note that Drita are generally a strong team at home. Of course, they don't usually face teams of Copenhagen's caliber, but if they were able to cause problems away from home, I believe they can play with courage in front of their own fans. Copenhagen, on the other hand, have now won all 3 of their official matches this season, including the Drita win and 2 league victories. However, their overall performance in the first leg wasn't entirely convincing. My prediction for this match is over 1.5 goals. Contrary to expectations, Drita didn't just sit back and park the bus in the first leg. They had moments where they pushed forward and caused real trouble for the Copenhagen defense. In this second leg, they've got nothing to lose. They'll be looking to play attacking football and chase a surprise result. Remember, even a defeat won't end their European journey, as they'll drop into the Europa League qualifiers. That's why I expect them to take risks, which could lead to goals at both ends. Next up, Red Star Belgrade versus Lincoln Red Imps. There's a clear gap between these 2 sides in terms of squad quality, budget, experience, stadium, and history. Red Star were the obvious favourites in the first leg, and while they came away with a narrow 1-0 win, the scoreline could have been very different. The artificial pitch, the hot weather, and most importantly, an early red card made things more difficult for Red Star. But to their credit, even with 10 men and under tough conditions, they continued to push forward and created multiple chances. They just couldn't find the second goal. At this point, there's little doubt that Red Star will advance to the next round, unless we witness a true football miracle. My prediction for this match is over 2.5 goals. Red Star have started the season in top form. They scored 7 goals in their most recent league match. I expect them to dominate this game and score at least 3 goals. While I expect most, if not all, of the goals to come from Red Star, I wouldn't be surprised if Lincoln managed to get one on the board as well. First up on Wednesday, Qarabag versus Shelbourne. In the first leg, despite playing away from home, Qarabag came out with a strong performance. While Shelbourne showed some fight, the difference in class was evident in the way Qarabag controlled key phases of the game, especially in attack. They once again showcased their strong offensive capabilities, moving the ball with confidence, displaying plenty of technical quality, and looking dangerous almost every time they pushed forward. Although the game remained 1-0 until the 80th minute, Qarabag eventually scored 2 more late goals, securing a comfortable 3-0 victory and essentially turning this second leg into a formality. This time, the game will be played in much hotter conditions, with temperatures expected to be around 31 to 32 degrees. That could slightly affect the intensity and tempo, especially in the second half. Still, with the attacking talent Qarabag have, I expect them to find the net again, even if it's not a high-scoring game. My prediction is Qarabag to score at least once in the first half. Shelbourne have little left to fight for in this tie, but they'll still want to show some spirit. However, with home support and early momentum, I expect Qarabag to score in the first half and manage the rest of the game at a slower pace. Next up, Bulgarian side Ludogorets take on Croatian outfit Rijeka. The first leg ended in a 0-0 draw, and to be honest, there isn't much separating these two teams in terms of physical strength or quality. This is definitely one of the most balanced and hard-fought ties of the second qualifying round, and that was clear in the first match. It was a very physical battle. In fact, a total of 9 yellow cards were shown. Ludogorets, in particular, played with more aggression as they looked to gain an advantage before heading into the second leg, and Rijeka couldn't make the most of their home advantage. They failed to score, and Ludogorets did well to keep things under control and take the tie back home level. Now the tie comes down to the second leg, and I expect another tight tactical match with very few openings. It's an important stage for both sides, and neither team will want to take big risks early on. My prediction: Rijeka under 1.5 team goals. They had some moments in the first leg where they looked dangerous, but overall they couldn't really raise the tempo. That might be related to the fact that Rijeka haven't started their domestic season yet, so they could still be lacking full match sharpness. Given the stakes and Ludogorets playing at home, I don't see them conceding twice. Next up, Ferencvaros versus Noah. The first leg ended in a 2-1 win for Ferencvaros, who managed to get the job done away from home despite the windy and dry conditions in Armenia. They had a slow start, but after scoring just before halftime, they gained momentum and went on to secure the win early in the second half. Ferencvaros were already the favourites to advance, and unless something unexpected happens, they should go through to the next round. Their squad includes experienced names like Naby Keita, who has played at the highest level with Liverpool in the Champions League, and their head coach, Robbie Keane, is a highly respected figure in European football. I also want to give some credit to Noah. They may not be a top team at Champions League level, but they showed in the first leg that they're not weak, and they could definitely be competitive in the early stages of the Europa League or Conference League. My prediction for this match is a Ferencvaros win. They're taking this qualifying round very seriously because the next stage will likely be against the winner of Ludogorets versus Rijeka. And Ferencvaros know they have what it takes to beat either of those sides. That's why I expect them to be fully focused and try to finish the job in 90 minutes, especially at home in front of their fans. Next up, Panathinaikos versus Rangers. This is arguably the most high-profile tie of the Champions League's second qualifying round, and honestly, if these two teams had faced different opponents, they both probably would have advanced. In the first leg, Rangers defeated Panathinaikos 2-0 at home in Glasgow, but the scoreline doesn't fully reflect how the match played out. Panathinaikos actually delivered a solid performance before conceding the opening goal in the 52nd minute. They managed to create a few chances, tested the Rangers' goalkeeper, and matched the Scottish side's physicality and tempo. With a bit more luck, they might have even taken the lead. But after going down to 10 men due to a red card, they struggled to keep up and eventually conceded the second. Still, it would be unfair to say Panathinaikos played poorly. Without the red card, the outcome could have been very different. My prediction: Panathinaikos to score the first goal. They were quite effective going forward in the first leg and now have nothing to lose. With the support of their passionate fans in Athens, I expect them to come out strong and try to strike early. Yes, it's a bit of a risky prediction, but I believe Panathinaikos can score first and get back into this tie. Next up, Salzburg versus Brann. In the first leg, Salzburg were favourites, even though Brann were playing at home and already in the middle of their domestic season, meaning they had a match fitness advantage. Still, the 4-1 final scoreline was more than most people expected. Brann actually had a strong first half, going into the break with a 1-0 lead, but in the second half, things fell apart. All of Salzburg's goals came after the break, and that's where Brann's lack of experience really showed. At this point, the tie looks wrapped up. Salzburg have one foot firmly in the next round, and they're likely already focused on what's coming next. That said, Brann will still want to enjoy the experience of playing in Austria. They have a young, energetic squad full of players looking to prove themselves, so I expect them to give it a proper effort again. Even so, my prediction is Salzburg to score at least one goal in the first half. With a 4-1 advantage already in the bag, it's hard to say how seriously they'll approach the full 90 minutes, but I do think they'll find the net early, especially playing at home. Our final match, Servette versus Viktoria Plzen. Before the first leg, this was considered one of the most evenly matched ties of the round, with no clear favourite. Viktoria Plzen had the home advantage and was slightly favoured to at least come away with a draw. But things didn't go as planned for the Czech side. Servette came away with a 1-0 win in a close and eventful contest. Viktoria Plzen created several big chances, so it's fair to say it was an unlucky night for them. Both teams had their moments, and while Plzen were more dominant overall, Servette also posed a threat at times. We can expect a similar pattern in the second leg. With Plzen needing to score, they'll have to push forward, which could leave spaces at the back. So my prediction is over 1.5 total goals. I expect an open attacking game with at least 2 goals in 90 minutes, whether they come from both sides or just one. Before we jump in, just a quick reminder. All of this high-quality content takes a lot of time and effort to produce, and it's simply impossible to keep delivering this level of quality without your support. If you appreciate the work we do, please consider using the thanks button below. Every single bit of support, big or small, helps us keep going and makes a huge difference. Thank you so much. Now, let's move on to top predictions.